Hey, True Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Today's May 6th, 2016. Tomorrow will be the Kentucky Derby. A lot of people are asking me for what I see in the race. So here's a quick video on why I think that there is a strong possibility for a 13th Triple Crown winner this year, 2016, repeating what happened last year in 2015. Let me take you back in history. But prior to last year, there hadn't been a Triple Crown since 1978. And in 78, it was the first time in history that a Triple Crown happened in back-to-back years. It's only happened one time. And this is the 142nd Kentucky Derby. So it's a long tradition, something very rare. I predicted last year that there would be a Triple Crown winner because it had been 37 years since the last winner. And if there was going to be a Triple Crown last year, which there ended up being, American Pharoah won the Triple Crown. American Pharoah became the 12th Triple Crown winner in the history of the competition. 37 is the 12th prime number. This is what told me it was in for American Pharoah. Also, in the first race last year at the Kentucky Derby, which was on May 2nd last year, American Pharoah had 5-2 odds. The word prophecy equals 52. It was all part of the planned spectacle. So check this out. American Pharoah, who won it last year in Gematria, sums to 77. 77. There was a Triple Crown winner in 77 and then a repeat the year that followed. I'm thinking that within the name American Pharoah, there is a clue that we're going to see a repeat of what happened in 77 and 78. Except for this time, it'll be 2015 and 2016, both spaced out by 37 years. Notice Seattle Slew equals 33 and Affirmed equals 44. The horses that won in 33 and 44, combined, they also sum to 77. Just interesting. Also, Triple Crown in Gematria, the small way sums to 63, the big way 153. The reason this stands out is because if you sum every number up to 63, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, all the way up to 63, it sums to 2016. We're in the year 2016, a fitting year for a Triple Crown in this numbers relationship, the way sports are rigged. Triple Crown also equals 153 the big way. Let me show you why 153 stands out to me. This year will be the 142nd Kentucky Derby. When you write out the word 42, it sums to 142. 42 and 153 are often paired together in this study. If you follow my work, you know this. In the miraculous catch, there's 153 fish. The word fish equals 42. Miraculous equals 42, and more. Freemason also equals 42. It is the Freemasons who love to rig it by the numbers. This year, the Triple Crown opportunity begins on 5-7, a lot like 57. Scottish Rite equals 57. Special number. If you write out 57, it equals championship, it equals Super Bowl. World Series, when written out, equals 57. Special number in sports. So also a fitting number to go with a Triple Crown year, at least in my mind, following the patterns. These are the horses in the race. In the number 1 lane is Trojan Nation, which in a way reminds me of American Pharoah. Egyptians, Trojans, parallels. Lane 2, sudden breaking news. Creator, Motom, Gunrunner. Here's the list. There's 20 horses running tomorrow. The favorite is Nyquist, which got the 13th lane with 3-1 odds. See the other odds? 50-1, 20-1, 10-1, 20-1. The next closest horse to 3-1 is 8-1, Exaggerator, in lane 11. Nyquist, the favorite. Lane 13, 3-1. And if Nyquist wins, I'm penciling in this horse to win the next two major races because I really do think there's going to be a 13th Triple Crown here based on what's coded. Nyquist would become the 13th Triple Crown winner, running the Kentucky Derby in lane 13. We'll see if they win tomorrow. If that horse doesn't win tomorrow, here's some other horses that I think are worth putting a small bet on. And I'll talk more about Nyquist in just a moment. But I broke down all 20 horses. Trojan Nation equals 52, the number of prophecy. Again, last year, American Pharaohs, Trojans, history. First race on May 2nd with the 5-2 odds. Trojan Nation, 52. I find it interesting. Sudden breaking news. Interesting gematria. The 96 stands out. If you take all the divisors of 42 and sum them together, they sum to 96. The word Freemason equals 42 the small way, 96 the big way. So a small relationship with 42 and 142. Creator equals 35. Santana Jr. equals 35. The reason this stands out is when you write out 35, it sums to 142. Nyquist, the favorite, also equals 35. Nyquist also has gematria 44, like Affirmed, the horse that won it in the second year in 78 in back-to-back. So Nyquist has this parallel with Affirmed, the horse that won it in 78. When you write out 35, it sums to 142. This is the 142nd Kentucky Derby. The other horses that stand out to me, in the 7th lane, 142, 1 plus 4 plus 2 has numerology of 7. This horse, Oscar nominated, has a name with gematria that breaks down to 7. Should be noted that the gematria of 151, that's the 36th prime number. When you sum 1 through 36, it sums to 666. 2016 has 36 666 connections. The horse in lane 10 has gematria of 48. Tomorrow's race, May 7th, is a date with 48 numerology. 111 in simple English gematria also sums to 666 in English gematria. We'll talk about what 666 has to do with the Kentucky Derby in just a second. The horse in lane 12 makes me laugh. Tom's Ready. It makes me think of Tom Brady, who wears number 12. If you're not aware, Nyquist is named after the Detroit Red Wing hockey player. I'm wondering if number 12, or Tom's Ready, is named after Tom Brady. This horse also has the 48 gematria. Again, we talked about Nyquist, the favorite. Lane 13, 3-1 odds. The horses in lane 15 and 16 have gematria 42. Again, 42 connects to 142, just like 35. If you write out 35, it sums to 142. If you write out 42, it sums to 142. The horse in lane 16. 16 is the only other lane besides 7 that has numerology of 7. I noticed this horse has gematria 42. I really do think Nyquist will win, but I think these other horses, if you're a betting man, some of them are worth putting smaller bets on. They might finish higher than expected. Check the odds. Some of these horses are 50-1 odds. A $5 bet on 50-1 pays you $250. But I'm looking for the Triple Crown horse and Nyquist starting in lane 13, going for the 13th Triple Crown. That narrative is juicy. The jockey for the favorite is Gutierrez. Gutierrez is the jockey for Nyquist. Gutierrez equals 57. Tomorrow's race on 5-7. These other horses with the 52 connections, there's a chance they could win. Trojan Nation has 50-1 odds. I think them being in their position, though, with their names, I think it's more tributes to the grand event and what's being foretold. It doesn't mean that they're the horses of prophecy, but they're in this race that's of this man-made prophecy that's potentially setting up the 13th Triple Crown winner. That's the way I would interpret this. You know, all of the horses probably have a story to tell in the narrative to the madmen who rig it. But that could be what Trojan Nation is in lane 1. With regards to it equaling 52, just like prophecy, Revelation is the book of prophecy, the 66th book of the Bible. When you write out 50, it sums to 66. The horse has 50 to 1 odds. I'm tempted to just throw a $5 bet down just in case. You know, you bet on 5 horses, $5 a piece with 50 to 1 odds, and one of them hits. You made a lot of money. They call the Kentucky Derby, though, the Run for the Roses. This has gematria of 234. When you add the reflection of 234, which is the number 432, 234, 432, it sums to 666. And the word prophecy itself has gematria of 666 in the Jewish format. You know? Sports, in a way, are always contrived, man-made prophecy. So these patterns are ongoing. It's about finding the horses that sync up with the event, such as this being the 142nd and 35 having gematria of 142, going with Nyquist, who's in lane 13, going for the 13th Triple Crown, when there's all these Triple Crown connections to 2016 as we covered in the beginning. Hopefully you can follow me. But that's how figuring out these numerological riddles works. Some events are a lot easier than others. Last year, American Pharoah was easy to see, a lot lined up for that horse. It had special numbers, which was not true of the other horses in the field. The only other horse that was interesting was Frosted. Frosted ran twice against American Pharoah for the Triple Crown, losing both times. You know, the field was rigged for American Pharoah last year. If I'm right about a Triple Crown this year and Nyquist, it should be the same story. Repeat of history. Last year, headlines after Pharoah was winning: Pharoah rules, gematria of 142, possibly pointing to this year. Remember, American Pharoah equals 77. Back-to-back years were 77 and 78. Speaking of 78, I just thought of something that I should point out to you too. 78, sudden breaking news. The horse with the 78 gematria. I think it's all part of a story to tell. Victor Espinoza, last year when the Triple Crown streak began, he was 42 years old. Espinoza, a name with 42 gematria. Victor, a name with 33 gematria. Victor Espinoza, born May 23rd. This year, that's the 144th day of the year. When you add the first 144 decimal points of pi, it sums to 666. May 23rd is also a date I'm looking at for a lot of other reasons. Special date this year. Victor Espinoza, born on a date with 119 numerology. Funny, I'm predicting that May 23rd this year could be the next 9/11. Hopefully I'm wrong about that. But all-seeing eye equals 119, Star of David, important numbers, important symbols to the Masons and Zionists. Triple Crown jockey last year in purple. Purple, big color this year. Royal family. Kansas City Royals winning the World Series not long after the Triple Crown. Triple Crown triumph, headline from last year. 37 years, 12th Triple Crown winner, 37, the 12th prime. Triple Crown triumph equals 105, just like Espinoza the Big Way. How about that? Zionism and Masonry equal 105. American Pharoah ran its last race October 31st, 2015. October 31st, a lot like 131, like American Pharoah the Big Way, number connected to championship. Date was 76 numerology, the reflection is 67 like Pharoah. Victor Espinoza was wearing these pants that said wheels up last year. Wheels up equals 37. Very fitting for winning the Triple Crown after a 37-year drought. You know, this is how they do it. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. I expect the 3-1 favorite, the heavy favorite, to win. It won't be a surprise to anyone. Should that horse not win, look for these ones with the prophecy connections. The connections to the 142nd running, to the date. This year, out of the 3 years I've done this by the numbers, this has been the hardest year to call the Triple Crown, just looking at the numbers. But at the same time, Nyquist being the heavy favorite, everything else, that sinks. So we'll see what happens. Until next time, Truth Seeker.